How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Transport Fever 2. Welcome back to Salem and the little transport company that we have going here. We're actually making money already, which is fantastic news. We've just got started. We're already seeing 174,000 from the Salem bricks line. We are seeing anywhere from about 70 to 150,000 from the grain to alcohol line. We are finally seeing some money from fish to meat. We are finally seeing some money from the Kansas City food delivery line occasionally, and meat to food is also getting very close to making money as well. So all of my lines are more or less profitable, which is why it's probably a terrible idea to immediately throw that into jeopardy. But that's what I'm going to do because I want Salem to grow. I do. I want Salem to grow. We are getting to a point nearly where we're going to max out the demand for construction material, which is absolutely fantastic. We are seeing some very good growth here, by the way. Target population 146 plus 60%. That's not bad. That is not bad. We're aiming for 233 people here. Emissions are quite poor, admittedly. I don't love that. We might want to do something about that. And in fact, I might start there just to see if we can do a little something about that. So if I get myself a little section of straight road right about, say, there, and I get myself a little section of straight road, say, there, I can connect these guys together. And that's hopefully going to be a way that traffic can sort of go around, because my thinking is we continue that little section of straight road straight through like this, and that we maybe just pause for a second, disconnect this guy, bring a little section of straight road down here, a little section of straight road sort of through there, and we just connect those together. And my hope is that traffic will use this as a means to get around the place. So something like this is hopefully going to be good. It's not going to, yeah. So there we go. So half of my traffic now goes this way. It does have to loop back through because it's making the deliveries, but that's hopefully going to just slightly lower the emissions here. And that's hopefully going to improve things ever so slightly, which is what we're aiming for, what we're looking for, and we'll see if that works. Now, like I said, we're getting quite close in the construction materials. I do want to start bringing tools in here, and there's a couple of ways we can do that. We have got a tools factory by Salem, and that tools factory is looking for steel in order to make tools. It's a good ratio. It is 1 steel for every 2 tools, and then steel is made from a combination of iron ore and coal, but you need 2 of each of those. You can see at this steel mill here, it's 2 of each for 1 steel, and I don't think there is a decent, well, there is a steel mill down here in Montgomery, which I don't hate. There's one down by Oklahoma, well, technically Oklahoma City as well. Again, I don't hate that, but there's no ore nearby. Well, there is an ore mine there, and there is a coal mine up on this this mesa, whatever it's called. So arguably it is. Oh, that's a lot. That's a big investment. That's a big investment. But the benefit is that it does also produce slag, and slag can be used down somewhere like here. 1 slag is going to give me 2 bricks. And then this is currently a 1-to-1. So this could really nicely expand my bricks production and allow me to go into Oklahoma City with bricks as well. Oh, I wasn't thinking about doing this. I'm not going to lie. My original thought was that I was probably just going to use the Garland Tools Factory to start moving them into San Francisco and Everett and Seattle and Warren and High Point, etc., etc. But I'm now thinking that I might have to get a little bit creative down here. I think I do. I think I need to get a little bit creative with this. Now, do I use Montgomery or do I use, I'm going to use Oklahoma City, I think. Oh man, this is not, oh, this might be a bad idea. This might be one of those, this might be one of the many videos where I have what I think is a great idea. I'm going to get 45 minutes into building whatever this is going to be, and I'm going to look at what I've done and think, you know what? I'm just going to delete that. That happens a lot, man. I'm not even going to deny it. There's a lot of videos that I've done over the years where I'll be building something in city skylines, and genuinely I'll get 45 minutes in. There's ones I've got like 2 hours into building something, and you just have that moment where you zoom out and you look at what you've done and you feel nothing but shame. Shame and disappointment. And you're like, ah, there goes 2 hours. I'm never going to get back. And I hate that feeling. I absolutely hate it because it's, you know, that usually turns into a day where there's not going to be a video because especially with City Skylines 2, everything is so much, it takes so much longer to build anything in City Skylines 2 that if you've spent, you know, 3 or 4 hours building something and you don't like it at the end, it's going to be a genuine moment of, well, there goes my plans for today. There goes the video. Because you're not going to have the time to do another one. Also, I'm really not sure why I'm being so careful in following, like not going through the trees here, but apparently that's a thing I've decided I'm doing here. And honestly, I think it looks pretty good. This would be a beautiful road to drive on, I think. I don't drive, just by the way. I've mentioned it before. I don't drive. It's why I love snow. It's why I love the idea of a road like this. Where am I going? I'm going the wrong way. Okay, well, you know what? We'll bring that back a little bit. We'll bring this back even further, actually. And I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to cut through here. This is still going the wrong way, by the way, but I'm going to connect it out to this road just because I can. Because I could see this road being really good for me later on if I do decide to do something with the Montgomery Mill. So we'll go like this. We got a straight section road and cut across this way. It's so expensive, but we're going to do it anyway. So we're going to go to here. I really don't like how much money I'm spending and all this stuff, but we're going to do it anyway. 400. Oh, no. I do not think so. Can I raise that up? Oh, I can. Nice. 159. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that even more. That's not a thing we're going to be doing at all. Let me just bring a straight section of road out here. And we'll just do this in tiny little segments so I can hopefully not have it cost an absolute arm and a leg. We'll bring this over a little bit further. 10,000 there. Can I now connect these together without it being silly? 75,000, raise it up. Nope. I'm going to keep it at 75,000. So that's perfect. That cuts over to here. But what like I said, I want to use the Oklahoma City one, which is over here. Is that the right one to use? That probably is the right one to use, right? It is further away, admittedly. I don't know if it matters. I mean, I could do a little road that sort of connects these guys together. I could do a little road that connects these guys. I don't think it matters. I think fundamentally it's going to be a really long road that I'm building here regardless. So let's get rid of you for a second and let's start bringing a road kind of through this space. So down to here, we're going to be cutting through some of the trees, which is totally fine. We can live with that. We'll come around like this. We'll get a nice sort of straight section to here. And then what I'm going to do is come off of here at as much of a right angle as I can get. That's almost there. That's about good there. And then I think, hopefully, I can just connect these together like that. 147,000. Ugh. Give me the $48,000 version. There we go. And that seems fine. That seems like a cool road to drive on. Again, I don't drive. I wouldn't know, but it seems like it'd be a cool road to drive on. Now for this guy, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I have no idea without spending millions on a bridge. Although, I wonder. Oh, I wonder. Hold on a minute. Can I do this? Is that a thing? 5? That's actually not as expensive as I thought it was going to be. It does look ridiculous. It genuinely looks ridiculous. Wait, how low can I? Why is that cheaper? Oh, it does look hideous though, doesn't it? I don't think I want to make this. I don't want to make this hideously ugly. I might. I don't know about this. I might have to do some terraforming. I might have to I wonder if I could bring it around. Can I bring it around here? Is that a thing I could do? Like sort of this, like carve it along the side of the mountain. Okay. You know what? Never mind. We're not going to find out. Is there anywhere else I could go with this? I genuinely don't think there is. Maybe here. No, that's way too steep. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to commit to the ugly bridge. It's going to be disgusting. It's going to be so bad. I mean, again, reasonably, is there a slope terrain tool? No, of course there isn't. It's Transport Fever 2. It's not City Skylines. Oh God. Oh no. Oh, what can I do here? So I could like flatten the terrain like this, right? But it's so expensive to do this. But I could reasonably do this and then hopefully maybe build a road. I think I'm going to have to. I think I'm going to have to commit to this idea of sort of lowering the terrain bit by bit along this cliff and having the road sort of come down that. And honestly, it might not look terrible if I can do this right. And you know, I'm going to say it. This is actually kind of working. And I'm really surprised to be able to say that this is actually kind of working, but it's sort of working. I mean, yes, it's a bit janky in a few places, but I'm kind of going to allow this to be a thing. It's legitimately not terrible, which is really, really surprising me. I was not expecting this to sort of actually work, but here we are. We have like a weird mountainside. That'd be a nightmare, honestly. This bit here in particular, we're gonna need to redo because yeah, it's kind of terrible looking. But this is oh, it's gonna be rough. it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough, but it's all right. Can I bring this around? Oh, that's so steep. It's so steep. Oh, these poor little steam engines are gonna have a really rough time, but you know what? I'm kind of gonna allow it, I think. That looks it looks really treacherous. I don't know about this. Let me just smooth some of this out so it looks a little, I was gonna say less treacherous, but if anything, I've just made it worse. Oh god. You know, it's fine. It's probably fine. It's I'm making it so much worse. I'm making it so much worse by trying to make it better. I also don't want to spend the money on aesthetics right now, so what the hell? We'll leave it be. Oh man, that's a rough one. This cannot just come straight out. That's great. Okay. Oh yeah, because there's a hill right there. Okay. So we'll go for a tiny little segment here and a tiny little segment here. And I'm gonna save as much money as I can on not doing tunnels. And there we go. We have a connection. It's not pretty, but it'll do what I need it to do. Now for this guy, we're gonna need a single platform, and I am just gonna place it right down here to save as much money as I possibly can. So 82,000 flat, perfect. So that's gonna be our coal. This guy could be placed on this road. It would save a little bit of distance. I'm honestly kind of here for it, so we'll go for here. That's going to be the iron. Then that's all either going to go to Montgomery or it's going to go to here. I don't know that it matters. This one is actually closer to this construction materials plant, so I think I'm going to go for this one. And what we'll do is we're going to have a couple of platforms. So we'll do 3 platforms, 2 coming in, 1 going out. That should be fine. And we'll place it right about here. A little bit more expensive than I'd like it to be, but again, we'll sort of allow it for the time being. We are getting a little bit low on money, but I think this will work out. So that's going to be our steel production. And then reasonably, ooh, you know, just notice we have a means to make, fuel down here. We can get the crude oil up here at Oklahoma City. We can refine it down here and turn it into fuel here. And there's not really anywhere nearby that happens to want fuel. Well, there's Huntsville up there, but I think we'll be fine for now. Regardless, this is going to be our steel production. That's going to be our tools production. So I think what we'll do is we'll have this road be our main one. I'm going to knock out this little corner and I'm going to get myself a new road that's just going to go straight up to here. This guy's going to come straight across. We'll knock out the little extra part. And what we can also do is just get a little 4-way intersection here, and that'll be fine. We'll curve this around so it's sort of pointing in the direction I want it to go. And basically I just want to connect these roads together. So something like, yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Something like this, without the bridge, preferably. Can I lower that down? Other way. There we go. Ooh. Yeah, no. We'll do this. We'll do this the old-fashioned way, the slow way, by hand. And I've also decided to extend this road down here because eventually the slag from here can go to construction materials. So it's all gonna be good. Now, I think we have everything more or less that I'm going to be needing. We do need another truck depot up this way. So this is bringing steel in. It's going to be taking tools out. We probably only need 2 platforms for that for now. Yeah, because Oklahoma City doesn't want any of the tools. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and put this guy right about here for the time being, and that should be fine. I like to have a little bit of distance, but having this road here with a lot of vehicles coming in is probably for the best. And so what we're going to want to do is get ourselves some lines. So we're going from here, we're going to there. We're going to set up another line from here, going to there, another line going from here to there. And then we want to go in and look at where this needs to go. So right here is our drop off point. That should be fine. But I think what I'm going to do is just put our steel drop off on a different road so that traffic is maybe a little bit less terrible is kind of what I'm looking for. A little bit less terrible is better than completely terrible. So we'll go for here for the time being. And that's going to be another new line going from here to there. So that I think that's worked. Yeah. You can't really see the color of that line, but that's fine. And I guess this is going to be, I guess it's another Salem line. So it's going to be another red one. Okay, so slight change of plan. I've decided to call these guys out here the Oklahoma lines because most of them are going sort of close-ish, even though this thing is technically in Salem. That's fine. I'm not really too worried about that. It will do the job. Now what I got to do is get some vehicles. And this is the expensive part. This is going to be the part that's going to take some time. Because for we produce one of these, we need 2 iron, 2 coal for 1 slag, 1 steel. Then 1 steel is 2 tools. So I think what I'm going to do is I don't need to pause to do this. I'm going to buy some vehicles. We are going to use some flatbeds. I'm going to get 4 of them. They are all going to be painted bright green. And then 2 of those are going to go in the coal line. The other 2 are going to go on the iron line. That's fine. We are going to be moving, so we can move steel on a flatbed as well. So we'll get 2 more of them. We'll paint them bright green. We'll put them on the steel to tools line. Then we'll buy some vehicles. We're going to buy 2 more. We're going to paint them bright red since they're a Salem line and they're going to be in the tools delivery line. So now that entire thing should be up and running. We do in fact have some iron right here. We do in fact have some coal right here, which is fantastic. So this will start producing eventually. It's going to take a while because these vehicles have such a ridiculous distance to cover right now, but we'll get there. As for Salem itself, we are seeing some decent growth. The supply of construction material is still doing pretty well, which is lovely. We could, by all means, increase the number of vehicles in this line. We could bring more bricks in here if we really wanted to, which I'm not against doing. It is printing money as far as I'm aware. Yeah, 196,000 on that line right now. We're getting some decent stuff here. Let's actually have a look at Kansas. We've been looking at Salem all day. Let's have a look at Kansas. And honestly, Kansas is a little bit disappointing. No offense. It's just, it hasn't really grown. The supply of food is still pretty terrible. I might want to do something about that. We are seeing what looks to be a generous surplus of food waiting to get into Kansas though. So I might want to have a look here. So the rate is 19 on this guy. Fish to meat is 33. Meat to food is 17. You know what? How many vehicles we got here? 10? How much to duplicate these guys? I might regret this. 400,000. That's fine. That should be fine. We'll start moving a bunch more. We'll hopefully get more of the alcohol, more of the food in here. And we'll hopefully see, there's that new fleet of vehicles. We'll hopefully see Kansas start to get a bit more food in here. What I'm also thinking though, is that it might not be a terrible idea to look into potentially improving the throughput of traffic. So if I could bring you out of there for a second, just bring this guy across, bring this guy sort of down a little bit, do something like this. Is that going to encourage vehicles to go that way? Not really. I didn't really expect that it would. But what I now wonder is if I did the same thing here, Does that maybe encourage vehicles to go around? It does. It's not encouraging the vehicles that I was hoping it would encourage, but it is encouraging vehicles to do something. Okay, well that's not really what I was looking for. I'm not gonna lie. it's not really what I was hoping for there. Let's bring this road out this way. And I might just be wasting time and money at this point, but that's kind of what I do in Transport Fever, so I'm going to continue to do that. Let's bring you out this way. Bring you sort of down here, I guess. Can I just connect these guys together? I absolutely can. That doesn't look too bad at all. Okay. Does that give us a short... again, not really doing what I was expecting it to do. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll allow that. That's fine. I will upgrade you as well just because we can. And sure, that's it is what it is. It's fine. Kansas is doing Kansas things, I guess. Oh, now you know what I've realized? Now that we've increased the throughput of the alcohol to food to delivery line, we need to increase the grain to alcohol line because it's 2 grain for 1 alcohol. So if we're moving 38 alcohol every year, that means we need to be supplying this thing with 76. So grain to alcohol needs a rate of 76. So if I look at you and we're going to manage vehicles and I say, give me 2 more, 65, 2 more is 76. Perfect. So that's exactly what we're looking for. That should now be a nice 1-to-1, meaning that we should be able to get as much grain through here as is possible to turn it into food every year. And hopefully that means that we're going to see more food going into Kansas City in the near future, which means more money and hopefully more growth. Oh, you know, this is the first time I've got down and looked at these roads sort of at ground level, and these are horrendous. These poor little trucks. These poor little trucks are going to be in for a rough time. Oh man, I'm going to need so many more of them as well. There's no way this is going to be remotely profitable for a while, but as it gets there, as we start to see, you know, the slag production, all of this stuff, we can start to expand a little bit. I think Salem is still doing all right. We're not quite there with where I'd like to be in terms of the construction material. Although I'm curious, that would be because, yeah, our rate per year is 77. So I almost wonder, I've only got $473,000, but if I go to here and I say, give me, I don't know, give me 2 more vehicles, that brings us up to 90. And if I said, give me 2 more vehicles, that brings me up to 102. So we have an annual rate of 102, which is perfectly fine. This guy has an annual output of 600. This guy has currently got a production of, well, it can level up, so this thing can get better, which is absolutely fantastic. So we should be fine. We'll do just fine here. We should now be able to provide Salem with all of the construction materials that it wants, which is what we're looking to do. And then once we get that going, we can hopefully, as I've said before, start to move construction materials to Oklahoma City. Once we get the tools production going and regularly, we can move those into Salem, keep it growing. We can get them to High Point, San Francisco, and elsewhere. And if we really wanted to, I've also just realized Everett, San Francisco, and High Point all want the same things, tools and machines. That's a lot. That is a lot. We might actually have to subsidize that with this tools factory over here. As for machines production, we could reasonably... Oh, we need both silver and steel to make machines up there. Ooh, interesting. Well, we do have a silver mill down here. I don't know if we have any silver mines anywhere nearby, though. Yeah, we have one over here by Garland. So, yeah, we could... Again, if we had the money, and this might be something to do with trains, we could bring the silver from this mine over to High Point Silver Mill, out to Huntsville Machines Factory. And then in terms of the steel, I mean, we have some choices, I'm sure. We have a steel mill right up here. We don't have any, well, we have some iron right here. And we have coal right here. So yeah, we could reasonably make some machines here in Huntsville. We have silver there as well. That's definitely a choice. That's definitely something I think we could pull off. And that would be a really good place to produce those as well, because again, it's relatively close to 3 places that happen to want machines. So yeah, we might we might want to strongly consider that. I'm also realizing that we have more opportunities for food production here. We have a farm, an alcohol distillery, a food processing plant, and Oklahoma that happens to want food. So that's a really good little line to get going there. So again, it's 1 grain or 2 grain to 1 alcohol to food. And then that 2 food could just go down to Oklahoma City. So again, really good little setup right there. I'm actually kind of excited about that one. And you know, I've got to be honest, I'm really tempted to try and use some trains to do some stuff here. I really like that idea. I'm also realizing we have, let me see. So if we could get marble and stone, we could make some construction materials here. That seems a little bit, we have a lot of marble mines around here. Actually have a ridiculous number of them, but I don't think I'll bother. I'm thinking of using trains. I'm thinking of setting up a train station here near Alexandria to bring some grain down to Everett Alcohol Distillery and then down to the food processing plant and then into Oklahoma City. I don't necessarily have any need to do that. I think trains might be a little bit excessive for that, but I like the idea. It's a bit of a distance. I mean, this reasonably probably should have been set up with trains as well. This is a hell of a distance for this stage of the game, but I think I'm going to give it a shot. I do. I think it might not be a bad idea. I'm also realizing that having trains to bring grain down this way for this chemical plant could be very useful because we do need plastics from the chemical plant to make goods at some points. We also need steel for that. So having a supply of goods will be good. But I think we're going to give it a shot. We are making decent enough money. We're seeing 250-ish thousand from Salem bricks. We're seeing fish to meat at 100,000, grain to alcohol 100,000. So we're doing okay. We're doing okay. We're even seeing money coming in off of the iron and coal lines, which is unexpected. That's definitely unexpected. I'm also surprised that their rates are the same. No one's machines. Oh, you would. That might change things. Oh, that might change things. Okay. Oh, that kind of does change things. That definitely changes things. I might want to do away with my food production line and instead do train station here to pick up some silver, train station here to turn it into bars, train station here to turn it into machines, and then we can bring it back and ship it in by truck. It does mean we need steel, which means I might lean on this plant here. Or I would have to bring a train from down here up to Huntsville as well, which could go through Oklahoma City, but I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know about that. Oh, that's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. That's a lot of distance that we got to cover. Again, we have a coal mine here. That's fine. There was an iron mine. Am I imagining it? There was an iron mine in here somewhere. Oh yeah, there's some like over here by High Point. Oh man, that's gonna be rough. We've got, yeah, some down by San Francisco as well. We actually have a, oh man, there's so much. There's so much I've got to do right here. San Francisco also wants tools. We actually have iron and coal. We have a steel mill. How do I want to do this? That might be how I do this actually, is I take iron and coal from San Francisco. I turn it into steel down here. We use half of that to make tools for San Francisco. We load the other half of the steel onto a train along with silver ore. We bring it along, we process the ore, then we bring the steel and the silver into here, turn it into machines. A good chunk of that can go to Salem, another chunk of that can go to San Francisco, and then we're building both towns. That's how we're going to do this. It's going to be so expensive, but that's what we're going to do. So that means I need so many things. We're going to go for a cargo terminus station, and I'm just going to do one train to start with, I think, or one track. I'm not even going to get too creative with this. We're going to be relatively basic, and we're going to try to do something here that's going to just work nicely. So this guy is going to live right here, and that's fine. And then we're going to have some vehicles come up and sort of drop off some steel. That's totally okay. So this needs to cut through here. It's going to need to go in front of this guy. So, or behind this guy might be a better bet. So we'll do here. It's going to be expensive. It's going to be really expensive, actually. I don't know about this. This might be a bit too much money. It is a good place for it though. It is right alongside this thing. I think that's just what we're gonna have to do. 293,000, sure. So now we have that train station. So these guys are gonna come over from here into there. That is then gonna need to cut up to this guy. And I think this can be a terminus station as well. I don't think this needs to be anything too crazy. So we'll grab a terminus station here. I'm hoping that this is going to be close enough. It absolutely is. So that is going to live right about there. Again, very expensive, but that's fine. And then we're going to need some road depots as well. So I think what we'll do to start with is we'll get ourselves a small country road. We're going to come off of here. Nice straight line to start with. And we're going to come off of here with a nice straight line to start with. Can I connect these guys together in a way that's satisfying? 242,000. That is so much money. That is so much of my money right now, but we'll do it. And then the plan is going to be buildings. It is going to be truck station. Oh, these things are so expensive. These things are so needlessly expensive, but we're going to do it. I might have to take another chunk of loan here or just wait. But we'll go for here. That's going to be our iron. We're going to go for somewhere along here as our source of coal, which is going to be, I guess, right about here. Should be totally fine. So that's going to be iron. That's going to be coal. That's going to be brought down to here, which I can't necessarily afford to do right now. And that's going to be turned into steel. So we're going to need several platforms for this. I'm going to need 3 platforms on the right because we're doing 2 in, 1. Oh, we're doing 2 in, 2 out, aren't we? So iron and coal comes in, and steel goes out to here and also out to the train. Yeah, so we're gonna want 2 and 2, which is expensive. Let's take another $1 million just for the time being, and I really want to try and avoid spending a quarter of that right away. I don't know that I'm gonna be able to though. It's a lot of money, that I'm spending right off the bat, but that's fine. So here it's fine. So that is connected. So again, that's going to be 2 in, 2 out. I think we're going to need a truck unload stop here, which I can hopefully do a little bit further away. How far down here can I go? I can actually go quite a distance. We'll go for here. So it doesn't go any further than it needs to. And then this guy is going to be 1 in, 1 out. So we'll do 2 platforms next to this guy, and that should be fine. So right about, if I can get it lined up nicely, right about there. So that's a lot. We have a lot going on there. We have so much going on there. It's kind of ridiculous. Let me pause. And have a look at this and just make sure I'm doing everything right. So we haven't done the train tracks yet. That's fine. We can do those eventually. We are going to be doing silver ore to silver bars to machines. We are going to be doing iron and coal to steel to the train and up to machines. The machines are going to come back down, get dropped off here and driven into Salem. And then maybe driven into San Francisco and High Point as well. I realize all of these places need machines. I think I'm going to focus in Salem and San Francisco though. That seems reasonable since San Francisco is kind of getting a lot of perks from this as well. So let's set up some lines and figure out what we're doing. So you to there. We want to go from there to there. We then want to go, we could have some of these lines drop the steel off here since they are going back past this thing. So this one is going to be here into San Francisco. So we need a drop off point for everything. We'll do our machines down here. We'll do our tools sort of up here. We'll go back into our lines. We want to add a station here. So that should be fine. Let me have a look at these guys. So they're going to be, I guess either of them could pick it up, right? It doesn't really matter which. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. So line 1 is after El Paso North. We're going to have you stop in here on platform 2. And we'll say you can do the same thing. So add a station here, also platform 2, just to drop off whatever you got. It might be a bit of a cluster. It might be a bit of a problem, but we'll leave it be for now. And then we want to do new line from here to there. And that should be fine. So that's going to be our steel going to the train. Oh, that's busy. That is so busy. Okay, so with these lines set up, we can go ahead and start getting some vehicles out here, which is perfect. So how do we want to do this? I think some flatbeds will be the way to go. We'll do 4 of them. They're going to be this nice blue color, and they're going to be San Francisco coal to steel to tools. We are going to buy 4 more of them, and that's going to be also bright blue, and that is going to be the iron line. And then we'll buy, I'm going to say 2 of them to start with. We'll paint them bright blue, and they're going to go in tools delivery. So now what I want to do is I do want to just slow the game down a little bit. We'll keep it at normal speed. And we're going to say that these lines need a little bit of love. So in San Francisco Annex, this is where the coal starts. We want to load the thing up. That should be no problem at all. At El Paso, we are not necessarily going to be waiting. We're going to say load if available. And that should be fine. And San Francisco Halt is a drop off only, if I remember right. We shouldn't be picking anything up here. No, we're not going to be picking anything up here. That's fine. So that's kind of how we're going to do it. So we're going to say that both of these guys need to be wait until it's full and then head on. Again, shouldn't be a problem. That'll be fine. And that should give us a supply of tools into San Francisco. We're also finally seeing tools start getting produced over here, which is absolutely fantastic. So looking at Salem, we're 87 of 105, which is good. We should see the tools start coming into the city at some point as well. But I guess we have $488,000 right now. We are doing reasonable enough money, which is fine. There's 2 things I want to do. I want to get these trains going, and I want to improve the throughput of these lines over here. So I think I'm going to prioritize these guys because they're already making me money. I don't want to get the trains going. Basically, I don't want the machines production going until I can actually afford to do it properly. And as it stands right now, I can't afford to do it properly. There's just nothing I can do there. So we're going to keep things relatively basic. We're going to focus on what I can focus on. So let me go here. Let me duplicate these vehicles. And that'll be, so what does that bring us up to? A rate of 9. What if I do that again? So that gives us a rate of 19, which is great. I don't know that I've got the money to do that again though. So if I manage these vehicles, we're at 4 right now. Duplicate that. It comes up to 9, which is great. I don't think I've got the money to duplicate them again though. No, I don't. Do I want to take another loan? Absolutely. So manage vehicles, duplicate you guys. That brings us up to 19, 18 in this case. That's fine. So more vehicles means more steel. More steel means more tools. Let's have a little bit of a look here at how we're doing. So pin this, sort by name, and we're going to be looking at the Oklahoma ones. So steel tools. So these guys are 18, 19. So chop that in half for our ideal rate on the steel to tools. It should be 9. It's currently 7. So actually that's kind of a nice spot because again, it's 2 coal, 2 iron for 1 steel, right? Yeah. So we're going to need so many vehicles in these lines to make them actually have ridiculous profits, which is crazy to think about, but we'll manage. What I will do is just put 1 more vehicle on here. That brings us up to 10. So these guys are going to be running at a little bit of a deficit. That's honestly okay. A rate of 10 there is fine. Salem Tools Delivery actually has a rate of 19. That's a bit much. So I think for the time being, we're going to manage some vehicles. We're just going to sell one of those, bring that down a little bit, and that'll be fine. The one truck will be fine. It's only 9 tools per year into Salem right now, but it's a start. It's better than nothing. And I mean, realistically, we just need to let the game run and make some money. I'm looking forward to seeing this whole thing get working. I'm looking forward to seeing this steel get produced, and I'm looking forward to seeing everything kind of work out here and all these materials get going, but it's going to take a minute. It's going to be good though, because San Francisco is going to start growing as well. And I think what we could do reasonably is start looking at some public transportation between all these little towns, especially Salem and San Francisco, because they are the towns that we're going to be growing in this region. So that's good. Again, it's progress. And speaking of progress, we are now seeing a bit more growth in Kansas City. We're at 14 of 74 on the food front, which Honestly, it's still not that good. It really could be better. It could be so much better, but it's something. It's something. We'll figure it out. Once I am a multi-millionaire and I can afford to spend 44 million on this bridge, it's going to change everything. It's going to change everything. It's going to change for Kansas City. It's going to be the place to be. Right now, it's a bit of a dump. Again, no offense. Anyway, I think we can probably go ahead and leave it there for today. Again, we're doing okay in terms of money. It might say that our earnings are at negative 22,000 down here, but we are making money. If you do the math here, you can see it. You can see the earnings are picking up a little bit down here as well. They're going to fluctuate because we do have expenses, and obviously the Oklahoma stuff is going to be costing a little bit more right now as the vehicles start to get out there. But we should see that bounce back. We have seen the iron and coal lines making money, which is fantastic news. The San Francisco iron and steel tools line is actually making money, which is amazing to think about. The coal one is doing okay. Actually, iron steel tools is a rate of 12. We're going to need to balance these, but for right now, I'm not really super concerned about it. So we'll leave it there. In the next one, we'll go ahead and start setting up the train line and start to get the machines production going for Salem and San Francisco. And at that point, we're going to be providing everything that Salem wants. I think my city is going to have up to 6 things that they want, though. So Salem's only halfway there. It wants construction materials, tools, and machines. It's going to want a lot of things. If I keep growing it the way I'm growing it, it's going to want a lot of things, but that's fine. That's the goal. If it wants a lot of things, that's a lot of money to be made. So I'm kind of okay with that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.